Hi, I am Sophia. Welcome to True Payback, where story hits different. Hit subscribe. Let's dive in.
I stood in the hotel lobby, straightening my simple black dress while voices drifted from the ballroom upstairs. My father's retirement party. 38 years with Anderson Consulting Group, building it from a 3-person operation into a regional powerhouse with offices across 5 states. I'd driven 3 hours to be here. Taken the day off. Even bought a gift. My phone buzzed. Mom, stay downstairs for now. Your father's greeting important clients. I'd been in the lobby for 40 minutes. Through the glass doors I could see the celebration. Crystal chandeliers. Ice sculptures. A string quartet. The ballroom Dad had insisted on booking at the Grandview Hotel, the most expensive venue in the city. I recognized faces from family gatherings. Uncle Richard. Aunt Patricia. My older brother Marcus standing near the bar with his wife Jennifer. They saw me through the glass. Marcus whispered something to Jennifer. They both turned away. The elevator doors opened. Mom stepped out, her face tight with that expression I'd known my entire life. The one that said I'd already disappointed her just by existing. Sarah, we need to talk. Is everything okay? She glanced back at the ballroom. Your father's partners are here. The McGregor family. They're considering a merger that would be worth millions. Stephen McGregor, his wife Diana, their son who just made partner at a New York firm. That's wonderful. I'd love to meet them. That's what I need to discuss. Mom's voice dropped. Your father thinks, we both think, it would be better if you didn't come upstairs. The words hung there. Clinical. Rehearsed. I'm his daughter. We know, sweetheart. But you have to understand. This is a very important night for your father's legacy. These are sophisticated people. The McGregors, the Harrison family, the Chens, they're all successful business people. They have expectations about the caliber of people they associate with. My throat felt tight. The caliber of people. You know what I mean. They have children who are lawyers, doctors, executives. Diana McGregor was just telling me about her daughter who graduated from Wharton. Mom touched my arm, her voice gentle in that way that made cruelty sound like kindness. You work in, what do you call it? Freelance consulting? They wouldn't understand that kind of alternative career path. I see. It's not personal, Sarah. Your father just wants this evening to be perfect. You can wait down here, have some appetizers from the lobby bar, and we'll do a family dinner next week. Just us. Wouldn't that be nicer anyway? I looked past her at the ballroom. At my father in his expensive suit, laughing with men in tuxedos. At Marcus, who'd gotten his MBA funded by the family, now working in Dad's firm. Does Marcus know you're asking me to stay down here? Your brother understands how important tonight is. Of course he does. Mom's phone buzzed. She glanced at it. I need to get back. Order whatever you want from the lobby bar. Put it on the hotel room, your father booked a suite. She started toward the elevator, then paused. Oh, and Sarah, if anyone asks, just say you couldn't make it. Your father's already told people you had a work conflict. The elevator doors closed. I stood there looking at my reflection in the mirrored wall. 32 years old. Wearing a dress I'd bought specifically for this occasion. Holding a gift bag with a leather-bound journal I'd had engraved with my father's initials. My phone buzzed again. A message from Marcus. Mom told me. Sorry, but you know how Dad gets about business stuff. Just trying to protect his reputation. I typed back, I understand. Then I walked to the hotel's business center and logged into my laptop. They didn't know because I'd never told them. After college, which I'd paid for myself with scholarships and 3 jobs, I'd spent 2 years working 80-hour weeks at a tech startup. When that company was acquired, my stock options were worth $400,000. I was 24 years old. I didn't tell my family. I'd learned early that money in my hands was money Dad thought should be redistributed to where it's needed most. Which meant Marcus's MBA. The family vacation home. Dad's boat. Instead I invested it. Carefully. Strategically. I started consulting on the side, helping small businesses with operational efficiency. One client led to another. Then another. Within 3 years I had enough clients that I registered as an LLC. Meridian Strategic Advisors. My family thought it was a hobby. Sarah's little freelance thing, Mom called it. When Marcus was struggling to keep his division at Dad's firm profitable, I received a desperate call from their CFO, Someone I'd met years earlier at an industry conference. Anderson Consulting Group needed capital. Fast. They'd overextended on the new Chicago office. Cash flow was strangled. The bank was threatening to call their line of credit. The CFO explained they needed $3.2 million. They were looking for a silent investor, someone who'd take preferred equity in exchange for keeping the firm afloat. "We can't let your father know how bad it got," the CFO said. "His reputation in the industry, it would destroy him if people knew Anderson Consulting almost went under." I'd wired the money the next day. Not as Sarah Anderson. As Meridian Strategic Advisors, represented by my business attorney. Anonymous investment. Standard terms. Nobody at Anderson Consulting Group knew the investor was me. That was 5 years ago. 5 years of watching Dad accept credit for turning the firm around with strategic restructuring. 5 years of Marcus bragging about saving the Chicago office with innovative thinking. 5 years of being dismissed as the daughter who never really found her path. My investment had grown. The preferred equity agreement gave me certain rights. Board observer status. Quarterly financial reports. And a clause that became very important tonight. Investor reserves the right to call the note at any time with 90 days notice, or immediately upon material change in relationship with management. I pulled up the documents on my laptop. Material change in relationship with management. I thought that covered being told I was too embarrassing to attend my own father's retirement party. While I sat in the lobby business center, I opened my email. 43 unread messages. 3 acquisition offers for Meridian. 2 speaking invitations from industry conferences. 1 request from Forbes for an interview about building consulting firms in competitive markets. Meridian Strategic Advisors had grown beyond anything I'd imagined. We had 12 full-time consultants now. Offices in 3 cities. Annual revenue of $8 million. And a client roster that included 2 Fortune 500 companies. But my family didn't know any of that. They saw the used Toyota I drove. The modest apartment I rented. The simple clothes. They didn't see the diversified investment portfolio worth $12 million. The real estate holdings in Austin and Denver. The stake in 4 different startups. I kept it quiet for one reason. I wanted to see if they'd love me without the money. Turns out they didn't love me with it either. They just didn't know it existed. My phone rang. "Hannah, my business partner and oldest friend. Please tell me you're not actually sitting in a hotel lobby right now." Briefly. I was invited. Then uninvited. Apparently I'm bad for optics. Hannah's voice sharpened. "Sarah, you're one of the most successful consultants under 40 in the region. Your father's firm would have collapsed without your investment. And they're embarrassed of you. They don't know about the investment. Or Meridian. Or anything really. Then maybe it's time they learned." I looked at the documents on my screen. The investment agreement. The contact information for my attorney. The carefully worded clause about material changes in relationship. "Hannah, what would happen if we called the note?" Silence. Then, financially? Anderson Consulting would have 90 days to repay $3.2 million. Given their current cash position and the way they've been spending, I reviewed their last quarterly statement you sent me. They couldn't do it. They'd have to sell assets. Possibly dissolve the Chicago office. Fire people. That's what I thought. But we're not going to do that. Right. I watched my father through the ballroom glass, toasting with champagne, laughing with people who found me too embarrassing to meet. "I'm going to give him a choice," I said quietly. I walked back to the ballroom. Stood outside the glass doors. Inside, the party was in full swing. 200 people celebrating my father's career. The room he'd built. The legacy he'd created. Built on my money. My phone buzzed. "Dad, your mother told me you understood the situation. Thanks for being mature about this. I'll take you to dinner next month." "Next month?" I replied. "Actually, I'd like to come up and say hello. Just for a minute." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. "Dad, Sarah, please don't make this difficult. There are very important people here." "Me, I understand. I just want to congratulate you." 2 minutes. "Dad, the answer is no. I'm sorry, but you need to respect this boundary. You'll thank me later when you understand how business relationships work." I screenshotted the message. Then I texted my attorney. Please prepare notice of note acceleration for Anderson Consulting Group. Material change in relationship with management. I want it ready to file. She responded immediately, Are you sure? This is your family. Yeah, I'm sure. The attorney, I'll have it ready in an hour. But Sarah, this will destroy their business. Your father's legacy. Me, he told me I don't understand how business relationships work. I'm about to teach him. I composed another message. This one to the 3 members of my acquisitions team. The consultants I'd hired specifically to evaluate potential investments and partnerships. Cancel all pending negotiations with Anderson Consulting Group. Effective immediately. Explanation to follow. I hit send. Then I walked to the lobby bar, ordered a glass of wine and waited. 23 minutes later, Dad's phone started ringing. I couldn't see it from the lobby, but I knew what was happening. The CFO would have been notified about the cancelled partnership discussions. Anderson Consulting had been negotiating to absorb some of Meridian's overflow clients. A deal worth significant revenue. The CFO would be calling Dad, asking what happened, whether there'd been some misunderstanding. And Dad would have no idea what he was talking about. My phone rang. Marcus. Sarah, what the hell did you do? I'm sitting in the hotel lobby like I was told. What are you talking about? Dad just got a call. Some consulting firm we've been in talks with suddenly cancelled. The CFO is freaking out. This was supposed to be announced at the party, a major partnership. Now they're saying the negotiations are terminated. That's unfortunate timing. The firm is called Meridian Strategic. Do you know anything about this? I took a sip of wine. Should I? Sarah, I swear to God if you somehow. The call cut off. 2 minutes later my phone rang again. Dad this time. Sarah Elizabeth Anderson, what did you do? I'm sitting in the lobby bar. Having the wine you're paying for. Don't play games with me. Meridian Strategic Advisors just cancelled a partnership worth $500,000 in annual revenue. The CFO is asking if we did something to offend them. Their representative mentioned a material change in relationship. Do you know what that means? I might. This isn't funny. This is my retirement party. My legacy. If you sabotage this deal somehow. I didn't sabotage anything, Dad. I just made a business decision. You told me I don't understand how business relationships work. So I'm learning. Silence. Then, what are you talking about? Meridian Strategic Advisors is my company. Has been for 8 years. And we were very excited about partnering with Anderson Consulting. Right up until I was told I was too embarrassing to attend my own father's retirement party. More silence. You're lying. I'm not. Would you like me to send you our incorporation documents? Our client list? Maybe the quarterly revenue statements? I could hear his breathing. Heavy. Fuck. That's not, you can't. I can. And I did. But that's not the interesting part, Dad. The interesting part is Anderson Consulting Group's anonymous investor. The one who saved you 5 years ago when the Chicago office almost bankrupted the entire firm. Want to guess who that was? The line went dead. 5 minutes later, Dad appeared in the lobby. His face was red. Marcus followed along with the CFO, a man named Robert Chin who looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. Everyone upstairs is asking where you went, I said calmly. This must be embarrassing. Dad's voice was low and dangerous. What game are you playing? No game. Just business. Isn't that what you always taught Marcus? Business first, family second. Marcus stepped forward. Sir, come on. Whatever this is. This is me being uninvited from our father's retirement party because I'm too embarrassing for his business associates. This is me being told I don't understand how business relationships work. This is me deciding that if I'm not family tonight, I'm just an investor. And investors make decisions based on returns. Robert Chen's face had gone pale. Ms. Anderson, I don't think. You don't think I'm actually the investor? I pulled out my phone, opened my email and turned the screen toward them. Here's the wire transfer from 5 years ago. $3.2 million from Meridian Strategic Advisors to Anderson Consulting Group. Here's the investment agreement signed by your firm. And here's the clause about material changes in relationship. Dad grabbed my phone. Stared at the screen. This is impossible. It's documented. Verified. I saved your firm, Dad. When you were about to lose everything. The Chicago office, the reputation, the legacy. I was the one who stepped in. Not as your daughter. As an investor. Because I knew if you knew it was me, you'd either refuse the help or treat it like I owed it to you. You. Dad's voice cracked. You let me believe. I let you believe I was a failure. Because I wanted to see if you'd love me anyway. I took my phone back. Turns out you didn't. You found me embarrassing. Not worth introducing to your business partners. Marcus was staring at me like I was a stranger. Sarah, this is insane. You're really saying you own part of Dad's company. Preferred equity. Which comes with certain rights. Including the right to call the note if there's a material change in my relationship with management. I looked at Dad. Being told I'm too embarrassing to attend your retirement party counts as a material change. Robert Chen's voice was barely a whisper. If you call the note, we'd have 90 days to repay $3.2 million. We don't have that kind of liquidity. We'd have to sell assets. Probably close the Chicago office. Lay off 73 people, I finished. I know. I've read your quarterly reports. You've been spending like the money will never run out. New offices. Executive bonuses. Company cars. All built on capital I provided. Dad's face was white now. You wouldn't destroy your own family's business. You wouldn't introduce me to your business partners. Seems like we're both capable of disappointing people. Sarah, please. Mom's voice. She'd appeared from the elevator, looking between us with growing horror. What's happening? I'm teaching everyone an important lesson about business relationships, I said. Dad was right. I didn't understand them. But I'm learning fast. I stood up, gathering my coat and bag. Here's what's going to happen. I'm leaving now. In 1 hour, my attorney will file notice of note acceleration. Anderson Consulting Group will have 90 days to repay $3.2 million, plus accumulated interest. Given your current cash position, you'll be forced to liquidate assets, terminate the Chicago office, and probably sell the firm to a larger consulting group at a significant discount. Dad's voice was hoarse. You'd destroy everything I built. No, Dad. I'd destroy everything we built. You just didn't know I was building it with you. There has to be another option. There is. I pulled a business card from my wallet. Plain. Professional. Sarah Anderson, CEO, Meridian Strategic Advisors. You make a choice. Right now. Either I'm family, which means you go upstairs, tell everyone your daughter is here, introduce me to every single person at that party including the McGregors, and publicly acknowledge that you're proud of me. Or I'm an investor. And investors don't have sentimental attachments to underperforming assets. Marcus found his voice. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. 5 years ago I gave Dad a lifeline when his business was drowning. I asked for nothing. Not credit. Not recognition. Not even a thank you because he didn't know it was me. All I wanted was to be his daughter. To be part of this family. And tonight I got my answer about what I'm worth to all of you. Mom's hand was at her throat. Sarah, this is blackmail. No, Mom. Blackmail is illegal. This is business. Dad always said personal feelings don't belong in business decisions. I'm just following his advice. I checked my watch. You have 45 minutes before my attorney files the paperwork. If I get a text from you in that time saying I'm invited upstairs, genuinely invited with a real introduction to your colleagues, then I'll call her off. Otherwise the note gets called. Your choice. I walked toward the lobby doors. Sarah, wait. Dad's voice was smaller now. I can't. This would humiliate me in front of everyone. I turned back. Being excluded from your retirement party humiliated me. The difference is I'm the only one who knew about it. Your humiliation would be public. So yes, Dad. It would be humiliating. That's the point. This isn't you. You're not cruel like this. You're right. I'm not. Which is why I'm giving you a choice at all. A cruel person would just file the paperwork and watch your company collapse. I'm giving you the option to do the right thing. Robert Chen's voice was urgent. Mr. Anderson, if she calls the note, we're finished. The firm can't survive it. Not with our current debt load. Dad looked at me. Really looked at me. Maybe for the first time in my adult life. If I do this, if I bring you upstairs, you'll cancel the note acceleration? I'll cancel it. The investment stands. Partnership discussions resume. Everything goes back to how it was, except you'll know the truth about who saved your company. And what do I tell people about you? The truth. That I'm your daughter. That I run a successful consulting firm. That you're proud of me. I paused. Unless you're not. In which case, I'm not sure why I'd want to stay invested in your company at all. 32 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Dad, come upstairs. Please. I took the elevator to the ballroom level. The doors opened. Dad was standing there waiting. His eyes were red. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I was wrong. About everything. I know. I should have seen. He couldn't finish. Yes, you should have. But you didn't. And now we're here. He nodded slowly. Everyone's asking questions. About where I went. What's happening? Then let's go answer them. We walked into the ballroom together. The music had stopped. Conversations faltered as people turned to look. Dad's voice was shaky as he raised his hand for attention. Everyone, there's someone I want you to meet. Someone I should have introduced hours ago. The room fell silent. This is my daughter, Sarah. She's the CEO of Meridian Strategic Advisors, one of the most successful consulting firms in the region. And his voice cracked slightly. She's the investor who saved Anderson Consulting Group 5 years ago when we nearly went bankrupt. Gasps rippled through the crowd. I didn't know it was her. She invested anonymously. Saved 73 jobs. Saved my reputation. Saved everything I'd built. And tonight, I told her she couldn't come to this party because I was embarrassed of her. More gasps. Someone whispered. I was wrong. Completely, profoundly wrong. My daughter is more successful than I ever was. More strategic. More generous. And I was too blind to see it. He turned to me. Sarah, I'm sorry. In front of everyone here, I'm sorry. The room was dead silent. A woman stepped forward. Elegant, mid-50s. I'm Diana McGregor. Your father has been telling us about the potential merger all evening. I'd very much like to hear about Meridian Strategic. We're always looking for consulting partners with strong regional presence. Another man approached. Stephen Harrison. I recognize your firm's name from industry publications. Impressive growth trajectory. Marcus appeared at my elbow, his voice low. Sarah, I had no idea. Any of it. The investment, the company. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? He was quiet. The CFO, Robert Chin, was now explaining to a cluster of board members how the anonymous investment had saved the firm. How strategic it had been. How the investor had asked for nothing except fair returns and quarterly reports. That investor was standing in the lobby the whole time, someone said. Mom approached slowly. Sarah, I don't understand. Why hide all this? Because I wanted to see if you'd love me without it. If I was worth something to this family beyond what I could provide financially. And I got my answer. The party continued, but it was different now. People wanted to talk to me. To hear about Meridian. To exchange business cards. Diana McGregor pulled me aside. Your father was foolish tonight. But he's trying to make it right. That counts for something. Does it? My daughter dropped out of college to start a nonprofit. I thought she was throwing her life away. It took me 3 years to apologize. Your father did it in 30 minutes. That's better than I managed. I watched Dad across the room trying to laugh at someone's joke, but his eyes kept finding me, checking if I was still there. Around midnight, as the party wound down, he approached me one more time. The note, he said. Are you really canceling the acceleration? I already texted my attorney. It's done. Thank you. Don't thank me, Dad. That investment isn't a gift. It's business. And business means I get quarterly reports, board observer status, and input on major decisions. Just like the contract says. I understand. Do you? Because I'm not just Sarah anymore. I'm also an investor in your company. And investors hold management accountable. He nodded slowly. What does that mean? It means you're going to make some changes. The executive bonuses while you're laying off junior consultants? That ends. The company cars? Scale back. The Chicago office? It needs to be profitable within 12 months or we close it properly with severance packages for everyone affected. That's what an engaged investor would require. And I'm very engaged now. Marcus appeared. So you're basically running Dad's company now? No. I'm providing oversight on my investment. There's a difference. I looked at both of them. But here's what I want you to understand. For 5 years I gave you money, anonymity, and asked for nothing. I let you take credit for saving the firm. I watched you win industry awards for strategic turnaround. I never said a word. Why? Marcus asked. Because I wanted you to succeed. Both of you. Even when you treated me like I was worthless, I still wanted you to be okay. I picked up my coat. But that ends tonight. From now on, if I'm investing in this family financially or emotionally, I expect respect. Not gratitude. Not praise. Just basic respect. Think you can manage that? Dad's voice was quiet. Yes. Good. Then we'll see how it goes. I started toward the exit, then paused. Oh, and Dad? That dinner you promised next month? I'd like to bring someone. Her name is Hannah. She's my business partner. And the woman I've been dating for 2 years. Another thing you never asked about. His face showed surprise, then something else. I'd like to meet her. We'll see if you deserve to. I left the ballroom, took the elevator down, and walked out into the cool night air. My phone buzzed. Hannah, how did it go? I think I just rewrote the rules. Hannah, about time. Come home. I'm proud of you. I got in my used Toyota, the car that had embarrassed my family for years, and drove away from the Grandview Hotel. Behind me, my father's retirement party continued. But the story he'd tell about tonight wouldn't be about his career anymore. It would be about the daughter he'd underestimated. And the price he almost paid for that mistake.